Picture this. You're standing in line at a coffee shop on a random Tuesday morning. In front of you is someone wearing a plain hoodie, old sneakers, and a backpack that's clearly seen better days. No luxury watch, no designer logos, no signs of success. If you had to guess, you'd probably assume they're just getting by. What you don't see is that this person has over 7 figures quietly invested, no debt, no financial stress, and complete freedom over their time. Because real wealth almost never looks like wealth. Most people assume rich people announce themselves, flashy cars, expensive clothes, lifestyles designed to be noticed. But the people who are actually wealthy, the ones who could stop working tomorrow if they wanted, they're usually invisible. And that's not an accident. Today on Money Made Simple, we're breaking down the psychology of secretly wealthy people, how they think, why they live differently, and what separates them from people who only look rich. Because the loudest person in the room is rarely the richest, and the quietest one usually has the most control. Here's something that sounds backward. The people with the most money usually care the least about looking rich. That expensive car at the stoplight, the designer clothes, the luxury apartment on social media, those aren't signals of wealth. They're signals of status anxiety. Secretly wealthy people understand something most people never figure out. Status is expensive, and it never pays you back. When they look at a $90,000 car, they don't ask, "Can I afford the payment?" They ask, "What is this money not doing if I spend it here?" Because every dollar tied up in a status symbol is a dollar that can't quietly compound. Most people buy status to solve an emotional problem. They want to feel successful, respected, validated. Secretly wealthy people already have that validation internally. Their confidence doesn't come from approval, it comes from control. Control over their time, their choices, their future. Once you value control, flashy consumption starts to feel pointless. Why trade long-term freedom for short-term applause? There's another reason they avoid status symbols. Status creates fragility. Flashy lifestyles come with payments, expectations, and pressure. A reputation you have to maintain. Secretly wealthy people hate fragility. They want expenses that can be cut overnight, lives that still work when things go wrong. So they drive reliable cars long after they're paid off, live in homes far below what banks would approve them for, wear clothes that last years instead of seasons. Not because they can't upgrade, but because upgrading would reduce flexibility. The less you try to look wealthy, the easier it becomes to actually be wealthy. From the outside, secretly wealthy people often look cheap. They're not. They're selective. While most people ask, "Can I afford this?" secretly wealthy people ask, "Does this meaningfully improve my life?" That one question changes everything. They spend freely in a few categories: time-saving services, high-quality tools they use daily, health, convenience, and peace of mind, experiences that deepen relationships. But they ignore almost everything else. A nicer version of something that already works? Pass. A lifestyle upgrade with ongoing stress? No thanks. They view money as stored life energy. Every dollar represents time, effort, and risk. Spending it isn't a transaction, it's a trade. Is this worth trading a piece of my freedom for? Most purchases fail that test. This is why their spending looks inconsistent. They'll negotiate small expenses but splurge on something personal, wear cheap clothes but pay for premium healthcare, live modestly but travel comfortably. They're not budgeting to restrict themselves. They're budgeting to concentrate on enjoyment. And this protects them from lifestyle inflation. As income rises, most people upgrade everything. Secretly wealthy people lock in a life they enjoy, then let the gap between income and expenses grow. That gap becomes investments. Those investments become options. Those options become real wealth. Secretly wealthy people aren't chasing the highest returns. They're chasing sleep-at-night money. While others ask, "How fast can I grow this?" they ask, "How badly can this go wrong?" They assume life will throw problems: job loss, market crashes, health issues, unexpected bills. Most people build finances assuming none of that happens. Secretly wealthy people build finances assuming it will. That's why they keep emergency funds that feel too big, avoid unnecessary debt, diversify even when it looks boring. They've learned something critical. The fastest way to lose wealth is to take risks you don't need to take. Once your basics are covered, the goal shifts. It's no longer about winning big, it's about not losing. They design systems that protect them from emotional decisions. They'd rather earn enough consistently than gamble for more unpredictably. Ironically, this makes them wealthier over time because they stay in the game. They don't panic, they don't reset to zero. Wealth disappears when avoidable risk stacks on top of ego. Secretly wealthy people avoid both. Ask secretly wealthy people what money really means to them, and you'll hear one word: time. Money is just a tool to buy autonomy, the ability to choose when they work, who they work with, what they say yes or no to. They design their lives to protect future freedom. They build margin in finances, in schedules, in commitments. They don't want a life that only works when everything goes perfectly. They're constantly trading more money for less obligations. They'll turn down promotions that steal their evenings, say no to impressive opportunities that drain them, cap lifestyle growth to avoid needing higher income forever. This isn't laziness, it's clarity. You can always make more money. You can't buy back burned out years. Eventually, money stops being the reason they make decisions and becomes the buffer that allows better ones. That calm, unhurried posture, that's real wealth. Secretly wealthy people play a game most people can't tolerate, a slow one. They plan in decades, not months. They understand that the most powerful forces work quietly: compounding, skill building, reputation, consistency. While others chase speed, they chase durability. They're okay looking behind in the short term because they're building momentum. They automate good behavior, remove emotion from decisions, stay consistent when others reset. That's why their success looks sudden. From the outside, it's overnight. From the inside, it took 10 to 20 years. In a world addicted to immediacy, patience becomes a superpower. Secretly wealthy people rarely talk about money, not out of modesty but strategy. Money attracts expectations. Expectations attract pressure. Pressure reduces freedom. Silence gives them room to move. They can invest quietly, change directions without explaining, make decisions based on logic instead of optics. They're happy being underestimated. Being underestimated lowers stress, lowers competition, lowers noise. While others try to look successful, secretly wealthy people preserve it. Secretly wealthy people don't win because they earn the most. They win because they opt out of games most people don't realize they're playing. They choose control over consumption, safety over excitement, time over titles, silence over signaling, patience over speed. You don't need to be rich to think this way. You can start now. Spend selectively, build buffers, protect your time, play long-term, keep progress private. Ask one question before every decision. Does this increase my freedom or quietly take it away? Ask that enough times and your life moves in a very different direction. Because real wealth doesn't shout, it whispers, and then it lasts.